Hey everybody, welcome back to the Race Survival Series, week number 5, and we are still just getting started. We are in game number 2. Game number 1, if you missed it, went up the day before this, and it is Ruin versus Miso. Ruin was able to take down Miso with some stellar play. A great hold there. Definitely worthwhile to watch. Edge of my seat for most of that game. Now we have Ruin staying on here in the bottom right, going up against sSak in the top right. Now, sSak is very accomplished. He's been around for a very long time, and he's well respected within the Terran scene. I think he's very underrated in the foreigner scene. I've been doing my best to try to kind of cure that. He's generally within approximately the top 6. I don't know if he's exactly there right now, but he's always kind of in that area-ish. But that being said, despite all of that, I'm actually favoring Ruin for this game. sSak plays a very teched out type of Terran, slower to expand everything, which I think is very good in the current metagame. But to be honest, I feel like every sSak game that I see him lose, it's him making a poor decision about when to attack. That's, in fact, now that I've said that, for his Terran versus Protoss games, that's almost always the case. I see sSak get himself into a great position, then kind of attacks poorly. It can be very tough to attack Protoss, and he'll think that he's ahead enough to attack or something. It's no, see, this is not going to work. And Ruin, I think, is so completely modern in just in Protoss in general, and especially his Protoss versus Terran, that I think that he'll be able to slap down any attacks that come in. So that's just my guess. I mean, maybe I'm reaching a little bit there, but we'll see. Now, it is a Nexus first into a cross scout, which for some reason is really actually a thing now at the pro level. It's kind of wild. I guess if you scout cross and they're there, you can be unbelievably greedy. Whereas if they're not there, then suddenly it's oh, okay, there's a decent chance that Terran is going to try to bust your Nexus, and you can definitely go for that second gate. So as he gets here, I bet you he throws down a second gate immediately. Look at that. He scouts it. Probe comes out. Yeah, makes sense. So the mysteries of the cross scout coming together. Now, the probe is actually going to miss the SCV just barely. Oh my god, its vision range just missed this SCV going down. So he's actually going to scout sSak last. He's going to be very, very blind here. A Marine sent down immediately to scout. That's really interesting, because sSak actually sent his SCV quite late. And having a Marine go down to kind of figure out what's going on. Yeah, you don't see that very often. It's kind of almost a Protoss move where you scout with the Zealot in the probe. So the Marine will start attacking, and this is just causing some lost mining time. He's got to be careful to run away in time, because the probes can actually easily kill the Marine if it stays there. But the more lost mining time, the better. Look, we're already down 16 minerals for Ruin. Plus he's having to pay all attention to this and everything. This is a nice move. This is a nice move. Look at that. He is actually losing a lot of mining time. A Zealot was made 2 Zealots, in fact, so he's a little bit nervous about an incoming attack. And you can see up here that actually sSak has decided that he will not be going for a Marine SCV Vulture Rush to try to bust this down. Now, the Marine going back home, he does have a Vulture, so these Zealots should not be a problem. Ruin trying to take a different path, but sSak is reading into that perfectly. He is not going to be fooled or tricked. If he went directly down, this Zealot could have caused a lot of problems, not a cancel the command center, but he could have killed this SCV, slow down the command center quite a bit, and moves like that are so big in these positions. Now, the SCV is still getting great scouting done. Dragoons are about to pop out, so the Vulture not likely to get any real damage here. I think the Zealot can mostly just suck up all the shots until the Dragoon is ready. And as the Dragoon comes out, sSak knows all about this. He gets out with his scout SCV, runs away with this as well. And look, this is... at the end of the day, this was a Nexus first build from Ruin. And as the command center finishes, Ruin is up 1 probe. Chills once again. I almost have tears in my eyes, because to watch these very best pro Terrans, these little tiny things, sSak did, and I tried to explain them as best as I could, but he did 3 or 4 very small things, And suddenly he's only down 1 probe against Nexus First with a factory expand. That's absolutely absurd. Like, that is just not something that you see below this pro level, and it's awe-inspiring, truly. Great moves from sSak. Now look, he's going for a vulture drop. He's laying some mines out. This is something I've talked about before a lot in the cast. If you do go for the vulture drop, you generally want some mines, kind of boxing Protoss in a little bit. See, a mine comes out, hits that Dragoon, and I think especially now that he's seen a mine, he has to be really cognizant of the possibility of incoming drop. It feels to me like Pro Terrans go vulture drop against a Nexus First that they don't try to bust, like slightly more than 50% of the time. So definitely something that he should be thinking about. Picks up 2 vultures. We have another one here and another one here. So he has 4 on the map total. That speed upgrade is being made. We have a pylon here scouting for incoming drops. This great wall of Dragoons. And, oh god, a Stargate. So we're actually, I think we're going to go right into air attack. It looks like this is going to be a 2-base carrier after Nexus First, which is a scary build. But with the dropship coming in right over here, even if this doesn't do that much damage, just the scout of the Stargate is so crucial for sSak. Okay, he gets that out with 1 more vulture in it, and in fact, goes down the ramp. You know what? Like, it doesn't do a ton of damage, but it does do some, right? He goes from being about 1 SCV down to 5 up. So yeah, I think that was completely reasonable, especially with the scout of that quick Stargate. Because now he knows exactly what he's up against, and he can really adjust the way he's going to play here. I'm not sure exactly what that was. If I had to guess, that was an engineering bay. But yeah, like, obviously you would cancel an engineering bay here and just go immediately into as many factories as possible. It's quite likely that we'll just see sSak do a 2-base attack very fast, and try to just push him to death. Might actually end up doing that with some turrets as well, but obviously you want to add that eBay as late as possible. Here's the 5th fact going up. I mean, he's already on 47 SCVs, which for 2-base economy is enough. That'll basically give you as much as you need on 2-base. So, wouldn't be surprised if he actually cuts his SCVs relatively soon here and just optimizes everything for this push. And we have a 2nd add-on coming up, so that means he wants to add quite a few more siege tanks. He does have siege mode on the way. Maybe he'll use the 2nd add-on for the Goliath range as well. Although you don't need Goliaths until just before the carriers come out. You want to make Vulture tank before then. All right, looking at Ruin's base, adding a couple more gateways here. The double Stargate is up. And you know what? This dropship just went in and checked, and these were not blinking. They just started. So he knows the earliest time that carrier can be out is like 1 carrier build time from now. And that's a lot of information. You do not have to start your Goliaths yet. Like I mentioned, it takes 25 seconds to build a Goliath. You may as well just pump out the vultures and tanks until you really need them, and then just do a couple rounds of them. So I think that's what we'll end up seeing from sSak here, who is making an engineering bay now. Where is it? Ah, it's over here. He's going to use that for floating and some vision. He has the barracks already in position as well for this. Dude, sSak is playing an excellent game here. Just some superb play. Look, the Dragoons coming down now. They're trying to zone out this dropship that's been giving him so much trouble at this point with all of its scouting and whatnot. Looks like he will finally pick it off. These vultures going to get killed as well. It's not the end of the world for sSak. Obviously, you don't want to lose a dropship, but I don't think that that's going to affect the outcome here. This is looking pretty good for sSak at the moment. The carriers are being made, but this many tanks already getting into position with buildings ready to give them vision up that ramp. That's pretty darn big. Now, Dragoons are out with a few Zealots and an Observer. Mines are going to have to be laid around because it's the mobility of the Protoss army that has a chance to counter what sSak is doing. He cannot fight this straight up, that's for sure. Look at this. The Dragoon's taking huge amounts of damage just going up the ramp. I think this game's over. Like, sSak has just played a brilliant, excellent game from A to Z, showing why he really is one of the world's best Terrans. Now, coming in for a flank, if somehow Ruin could break everything, this could definitely be his game, but as you can see, he's, like, actually not getting anything done right here. Dragoons being splattered absolutely everywhere. The first carriers are out, but they don't even have the interceptor upgrade yet. It is almost done. But so many turrets are being made that, like, the interceptors won't even do anything anyways. And he's going to go down to a one-base economy. Okay, science facility expansion over here. And yeah, I mean, if you just build turrets nonstop with these SCVs and slow push, there's not much that can be done. The carriers can't go for a counterattack realistically, because you're just going to kill them too quickly. I mean, Ruin doesn't actually have any options here anyways. Honestly, I think he'll GG any second. Like, this is a fruitless endeavor to stay in this game. A very strong player, but, you know, sSak's small moments in the beginning of this game really getting him into a solid position. The build order he chose, scouting exactly what Ruin was up to. There's even a Wraith joining for a little bit more anti-air. Turrets being built on the high ground in the main base now, too. Even taking down some of these eggs. And that's going to be a GG. sSak takes down Ruin. Hey guys, Artosis here with the Race Survival Series. We have sSak up once again here in week number 5, just having taken down Ruin with just immaculate play. And now going up against the Zerg representative in Yabsab. The map is Neo Forte, an old map. We've seen it just once so far, I believe, in Race Survival, but seems to be a more regular map being added in. It's such an old map, and it's just wild. You can see very small main base, and then it's kind of like the newer ASL map Lemon. I think that Lemon got a lot of its ideas from Neo Forte, because this was quite a popular map back in the day. People kind of enjoyed watching it. I mean, I personally didn't super enjoy playing it. It's kind of a freaky map, the way that you have to build most of your production down on that low ground area near your expansion. But a couple things to keep in mind here is that the natural is not right in front of the choke. So for Zerg, you might have to end up going like 3-hatch or going speedlings or something like that to try to hold on. I'm actually kind of surprised that we see Yabsab choose this as the map, to be honest. As far as, like here, you'll see, right? So this area, basically to make things like really, really balanced, for Zerg, you generally need to have their expansion in front of the choke area that leads to their main base. And since you can't do that on this map, it's really difficult. Because it's like, you can't really put Sunkens down, and you don't want to be on a totally Ling-based defense. If your opponent knows that that's what you're doing, you're in a lot of trouble. So see, Yabsab's going to go up here and expand. But yeah, look how far that is. You'd have to make, once your creep gets out, make a Sunken. And once that creep gets pushed out, you can make a Sunken. And then you can kind of fill in. It's like, it's far, man. So, yeah, this, I mean, sSak is a pretty brainy player, so I think he's going to probably be able to punish this. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, Yabsab must have some sort of idea for how he wants to play Neo Forte. Maybe he just does the Ling defense and then gets into mutas and abuses that, because that is one thing to mention, right? When minerals are this close to the wall, the mineral patches will not even be able to be used against Mutalisk harassment. These are just simply too close. It doesn't matter. You could literally have every square filled up with turrets, and SCVs could not really survive this. Well, maybe if every square was filled up, but yeah, it's a little bit tough. Ah, okay. So you see that sSak is actually basically going to do exactly what I was talking about here, where they don't have that centralized defense. He's making 2 racks right away. So he's not even going to expand. He's just going to attack because, well, you don't, I mean, his SCV sees it. You don't have a hatchery here. You can't make Sunkens. And a purely Ling defense is a very hard thing to pull off. So Marines being made. Now, Yabsab can see no command center. So, I mean, if you know that this is occurring. Oh, what? Okay, so he just canceled something and threw down his lair. I mean, that had to have been a Hydralisk Den or possibly an Evolution Chamber. Kind of weird, though. Sorry, I wish I had caught that. But, yeah, Yabsab droning a bit. Has a few Lings. sSak trying to push back this Overlord. Like, he's not going to get a kill, but pushing it back is nice. He shows that he has a lot of Marines here. So Yabsab really needs to do something about this. I don't even know if he has time to creep push over at this point. Like, we have Stim on the way and 2 medics being made. If he does nothing but make lings, I think he's still dead. Like, he is making a lot of lings. But this is 2 medics, and there's going to be 2 fire bats on the way. So... yeah, Yabsab, by the way, not a pro gamer from the old days like sSak, so he probably doesn't have any real experience on the map, whereas people who were pro back in the day, like sSak, would have practiced on this map plenty and have a very good feel for it already. So just to point that out. Now, with the fire bat coming up, notice the ling-only defense. This is tough. Let's see if he can get some sort of, like, surround. He's making a creep colony over here, but it's a little bit late. sSak with the micro brings the fire bat up. Oh, God. Just a slaughter. As you can see, Zerglings only, man. This is why we don't make maps like this in this day and age. This is just not balanced. Oh, my God. The early game's so Terran favored on this map. But don't forget, this was a 1 base cheese, basically, out of sSak. This is not a real build that we see nowadays. Okay, GG, sSak wins another.